Hello, friends. Welcome, everyone. Just a moment. We just see if we have everything ready. Yes. Okay. Shall we start? Pradeep, you're ready? You want to test your...
Yes, Ramesh, can you hear me?
Yes, that's super. And we are ready. Okay. Okay. Shall we start?
Oh, yes.
Yes. Okay. So, friends, a wonderful day and a wonderful welcome to everyone. It's always beautiful to connect with all these wonderful souls. And thanks to Master Pradeep for joining us today and being available to share this wonderful topic we are going to hear today about karma. So, friends, let me give a little bit of introduction. So, myself, Ramesh. I'm living in Germany with Madhu, and our journey into meditation had started in the year 1999. But I would rather say our real journey into spiritual science had started when we started sharing the practice of meditation to everyone in the year 2010 while we were in Egypt. And since then, we are in this mission, or I would say, joyful life purpose of sharing meditation practice, vegetarianism, and pyramid energy to everyone we come across. So we are now living in Germany since 3 years, and we are doing the same. And since few months, we are digitally connecting to everyone and sharing the practice of meditation. So today, we utilize again this digital platform to have our wonderful master, Pradeep. And I met Pradeep, yes, well, in the year 2010. And then I do feel that we were not meeting for the first time, and it's always wonderful to be around and to talk to him because I find joy. So we have a couple of hours today to again hear him. He was already here a couple of times. And Pradeep, he's born in India and then he had migrated to Australia. He did his master's while he was living there in Australia, and he's a certified meditation teacher. Apart from that, in the year 2014, he had become a custodian of this wonderful divine crystal, a 144 facet divine crystal. Wonderful energies of oneness people do experience, whoever come across and meditate in the presence of this crystal. And Pradeep had been traveling all across the world together with Navneet, and they had been sharing this joy of meditation, vegetarianism to everyone they come across. So, friends, without any delay, let us invite, please join me in inviting our wonderful master and dive into this session. So, thanks a lot. Namaste, everyone, again, and namaste, Pradeep. So,
Namaste. Thank you, Ramesh. Namaste. Namaste to everyone, and namaste to Ramesh for organizing this, for hosting this. It's a beautiful start, Ramesh, and it's always a great joy to associate with such a beautiful friend. And you are one of my very beautiful friends on the planet Earth. So it's a great joy to be associated with you.
thank you.
So, friends, welcome all to this session. Namaste, and I can see a lot of familiar faces. Hello to everyone. So we begin the session. So we'll discuss all these, friends. So how this workshop is going to go forward is through interactions. So there will be some presentation, and then there will be question answers, and there will be a little bit of meditation, and then again there will be presentation. So we are going to do it for 2 days, today and tomorrow. Karma is it's a topic which needs to understand in depth. And the only way you can understand deeper is through examples and by asking questions. So we are going to discuss more case studies also today and tomorrow. So there will be case studies, there will be examples, and there will be question and answer sessions along with theoretical aspect. So it's going to be quite interesting. So let us begin. Let me share the screen. And I'm sure all of your questions will be addressed. So let me share my screen. Okay. There you go. So is everybody able to see the screen? Yes?
Yes, Pradeep, it is clear.
Okay. Okay, wonderful. So karma and reincarnation, these both are linked together. So if you want to understand karma, you can understand karma when you understand reincarnation as well. So these two laws, there are 6 spiritual laws: the law of consciousness, law of reincarnation, law of karma, law of constant progression, and what's the first one? Law of karma, first is law of consciousness, law of karma, law of reincarnation, and the fourth is speeding up the progress, law of hastening the progress, and then there is a law of uncertainty, and there is law of infinity. So there's 6 spiritual laws, and among these 6 spiritual laws, the law of karma and the law of reincarnation, these two laws are fundamental laws one has to understand once for all. And the more you understand these two laws, the more you are helping yourself in your spiritual journey. So the agenda, what is the agenda? What is that we are going to discuss? So we'll discuss about the law of karma, the dynamics of karma, and the karma categories. What are the categories of karma and the intensities of karma? And again, we'll discuss about reincarnation, pre-birth planning, karmic agreements, karmic debts. So we have karmic agreements, we have karmic debts. So we're going to understand all those things. And finally, we are going to integrate. After understanding all these things, what are we going to do with our understanding? Because we all want to understand karma so that we can integrate in our day-to-day life. Any understanding, whatever you learn, if you are not integrating in your day-to-day life, there is no use in it. So it's just a theory. A theory doesn't help you. So how to integrate, how to deal with your karma, and how karma and enlightenment is interrelated. And in other words, how can you make your present situation uh, a better experience? How can you deal with your present challenges without any suffering? Yes, pain is there, suffering is also there. Pain is inevitable, but suffering is a choice. So the more and more you integrate the law of karma, the more the suffering goes away. So this is the agenda of today's topic, my dear friends. And first, what is karma? Karma is a Sanskrit word which simply means action. And some people think action means only the physical action. No, action refers to what we feel, what we think, and what we speak. All relates to action. So, what does the law of karma fundamentally say is it's a very simple law. It's a very profound law. What you do comes back to you. So that is the law. For every cause, there is an effect. For every effect, there is a cause. So what you do has its repercussions. And again, what you face back has its own cause, going back again. So that's why you say karma is like a loop, right? And it's very simple. Whatever you give, it comes back. It can be your thoughts, it can be your feelings, it can be your words, or it can be your actions. Whatever it is, it comes back to you. You think positive, positive will happen in your life. You feel negative, negative will happen in your life. You do positive, positive will happen. So in other words, whatever you do, it comes back. So you have to be aware of your thoughts, you have to be aware of your feelings, you have to be aware of your words which comes out of your mouth, and you have to be aware of your actions, and all are interrelated. That is the law. Whether you like it or not, whether you accept it or not, whether you understand it or not, Whether you believe it or not, doesn't matter. The law takes its own course. So that's why it's a law. Like we have many physical laws on the planet Earth. For example, law of gravity exists. Whether you believe it or not, whether you understand it or not, it doesn't matter. It exists. But the more you understand it, the more you get the benefit out of it. Similarly, this law of karma is a beautiful spiritual law. So the more you understand this law, the more you get the benefit out of it. And what are the types of karmas? So broadly, you can say there are two types of karmas, good karma and bad karma. So what defines a good karma and what defines a bad karma? Very simple. Whatever is your action. When I say action, you have to understand action composes of your thoughts, your words, your feelings, and your actions, your physical actions. Everything comes under actions. So the definition is very simple. Any action which you perform, it benefits another life form. That is a good karma. And any action you perform, it harms another life form. It's a bad karma. As simple as that. Now, what are the consequences of good karma and bad karma? In simple terms, the more you have, we all have both good karma and bad karma. We all have account. It's like a bank account. You have a debit and you have a credit. It's like a simple account. So we all have done many bad karmas in many past lives. Knowingly or unknowingly, it doesn't matter. So sometimes we do a bad karma unknowingly. It still doesn't matter. It goes to your account. And sometimes you do a good karma knowingly, it doesn't matter. It goes to your good karma account. So if you have more good karma, then the results are in the blessings, the form of a good health, a good relationship, good finances, everything. So the good karma results in the blessings of your day-to-day life. And the bad karma results in suffering. The suffering can be your health, your ill health, your poor relationships, business failures, disasters, accidents, everything, so on and so forth. So these are the results of the bad karma. Now, what determines your actions? Why people behave in a certain way? Why people think in a certain way? Why people speak in a certain way? Why some people are negative? Why some people are positive? What determines one's own actions? So there are two factors which determines your actions. The first is the vasanas, and the second is the maturity of the soul. Let us understand a little detail about what is this vasanas. These vasanas are the inherent nature which we bring from our past lives. It is the residue. It is the residue from our past lives we are bringing in. For example, if you were, a king in your past life, so in the present life, even though you are not a king, neither you have a kingdom, but you still feel that your feeling will be like more like you are superior, you are authoritative. Your feelings will be more like a king, even though you are not a king in this lifetime. It is because of vasanas. These vasanas are the personality, the residues of your personalities from your past life, your personality traits from your past lives. Okay. Similarly, for example, if you were a slave in one of your past lives, so in this life, even though you are not a slave, you are an independent being, but still you will have the traits of being a slave. You will not be confident in life. You always feel that somebody is overpowering you. You always feel you are helpless. So these are the traits you are getting from your past lives, because in one of the lives you taken that personality, and the vasanas, the residues, come from that. So that's the reason we all behave in a certain way, we all speak in a certain way. So this is called vasanas. And the other aspect of vasanas is because this residue produces the thought. This residue inside you produces the thought, and this thought leads to the desires, and that desires leads to your actions. So this is all interrelated in this way. And the second most important aspect, why people uh, are behaving or speaking in a certain way or actions in a certain way, is according to the maturity of the soul. So you see, like, we all take average of 400 to 450 lifetimes from the time we have incarnated for the first time on the planet Earth till we complete the cycle on the planet Earth and we become enlightened and we exit the planet Earth cycle of life and death. So from the first lifetime till the lifetime of enlightenment, where you have come out of the cycle of life and death. So an average, this is an average, it is not written on the rocks. It is just an average figure. Some people take 200 lifetimes, some people take 50 lifetimes, some people take 1,000 lifetimes, but the average is 400 to 450. So during these lifetimes, the soul goes through many, many experiences. The soul takes many, many challenges, many, many situations. And the more the experiences the soul goes through, the more the soul learns. So the more the soul is learning, the more the soul is progressing, the more the soul is graduating. So like we have the age for the physical body, we also have the age for the soul. The soul who has just incarnated, the soul who has just incarnated just only once or twice or thrice, very few incarnations. So we call it as a infant soul. And after many, many incarnations, after many, many challenges, many, many lessons, the soul graduates to the next level, the baby soul. And next, it graduates to the next level, young soul. And then to the next level, a mature soul. And then to the next level, a old soul. And then to the next level, a transcendental soul. And finally, the soul completes the cycle of birth and death. So once the soul completes the cycle of birth and death, there is no compulsion for the soul to come back because the karma is finished. So once the karma is finished, then there is no necessity for the soul to come back. But the soul can choose to come back as a teacher. So that is out of choice. So we have two things, karma and free will. Karma is related to destiny and free will relates to our soul evolution. So two aspects, my dear friends. The first aspect is destiny. Destiny is related to your karma. And the second aspect is the free will. Your free will relates to your soul evolution. Your capacity we all have free will. Everybody has free will. But because of the burden of the karma, we don't know how to use the free will. But a person who is mature, who understands life, he knows how to use the free will. So destiny is there, free will is also there. So I will discuss in detail at a later stage about this. But first, to understand the maturity of the soul and how it is related to our actions, in the beginning stages of infant soul, baby soul, young soul, the soul inevitably does more and more bad karmas. Why the soul does more bad karmas? Because in the beginning stages of the soul evolution, the soul is focused on power. The soul is focused on survival. The soul is focused on conquest, domination, authority. So when the soul's focus is in these areas, then naturally it leads to a lot of bad karmas. If you're focusing on power, conquest, authority, then you will end up in more and more bad karmas. And as the soul progresses, the soul understands what to do, what not to do. So with the maturity, the soul shifts the focus to one's emotions. Emotion. I need to feel good. I need to do good things. I want to be a happy person, right? I want to lead a meaningful life. So the soul focuses more on emotions. So when the soul focuses more on the emotions, then the soul starts repaying back all the negative karma. The soul has to repay the negative karma. And once the soul starts repaying the negative karma, then there is a balance. And more the balance happens, the more the soul is graduating towards enlightenment. So these are the two factors, my dear friends, the vasanas and the maturity of the soul. This determines the basis of our actions. Now let us also understand what are our daily actions. Every day, in our day-to-day life, there are many actions we do unconsciously. And let us understand what are the day-to-day activities which contribute towards the bad karma. Unconsciously or consciously, it doesn't matter. But karma is a karma. So the first is our food intake. So most people on the planet Earth, they are not aware of this aspect. They consume the food of pain and suffering. So when you're consuming the food of pain and suffering, so what does that mean? That means what you do comes back to you. So if you're butchering an animal, if you're terrorizing an animal, if you're giving suffering and pain to an animal or a bird or a fish, to any living being, you are giving pain and you are taking that food, the food of the blood you are taking in. So the suffering is going to come back to you. This is the law. What you give comes back to you. So our food intake has to be very sattvic, or it has to be based on gratitude and compassion. So the food which is based on gratitude and compassion is a plant-based food. The plants produce the food, but they never consume the food. They produce it for the others. With a lot of compassion, with a lot of gratitude, the plants produce the food for the birds, for the animals, and for the humans to consume. All the plant-based food is the food of gratitude from the trees, from the nature. So when you consume that food, so you are radiating that vibration back. And when you're consuming the food of pain and suffering, your life will be full of pain and suffering, because what you give comes back. Every time you are eating meat, you are contributing. You are directly contributing to the suffering and to the violence and to the killing of the animal kingdom. So because you are giving that, that is going to come back to you in your life. And there is no room for discussion here, my dear friends. It is the topic of karma should not be understood from the mind. The topic of karma should be understood from the heart. If you want to understand this about the food aspect, the only way is experiment. I was a meat eater by birth. I used to eat a lot of meat because I was born in that family. But after I came into meditation, I naturally became vegetarian. I became vegetarian because my consciousness shifted. My awareness increased. The more I did meditation, the more my awareness increased. The more my awareness increased, the more I can take clear choices. What I want, what I don't want. So I became a vegetarian very naturally. And when I became a vegetarian, that's when I understood the beauty of this law. Before, I used to think, eating meat is part of the food cycle. The goat eats the grass and we eat the goat, and then we go back to the soil, and then from the soil, the plants come again. It's like, we thought it's a food cycle. Everything is part of the ecosystem. This is what I studied in the school. This is what they taught me, that everything is part of the food cycle. But my meditation brought me the awareness. And because of my awareness, I became vegetarian. And after I became vegetarian, I understood the beauty of karma. How I understood the beauty of karma? Because before, I was having a lot of fears. I was not confident in my life. And I used to have so many fears. Fear of survival, fear of unknown, fear of the future, fear of uncertainty, and fear of the relationships, and fear of non-acceptance. And there are so many fears inside me. And because of that fears, I couldn't able to express my potential. Whatever is my potential, my soul potential, is never expressed. And the life was a struggle. But when I became a vegetarian, I noticed in 6 months' time, all my fears started coming down. Bit by bit, step by step, all my fears started coming down, and I started becoming more confident in life. I started trusting life. You have to understand, my dear friends, the opposite energy of fear is trust. Where there is fear, there is no trust. Where there is trust, there is no fear. So the opposite energy of fear is trust. So ever since I became a vegetarian, I started noticing, I started trusting life. I started trusting in myself. I started trusting God. So I started trusting whatever happens, happens for good. So this is the beauty I realized. And then I understood, wow, what a beautiful law, this law of karma. What you give comes back. So if you want to understand how your food impacts you, how your food impacts your current life, how your food impacts your soul evolution, you have to do an experiment. So my suggestion would be just do an experiment for 1 month. For 1 month, don't consume any food which is of pain and suffering, and just experiment. Consciously make a choice that I am not going to consume the food which comes out of fear, suffering, and blood. Consciously make a choice just for 1 month, and you will notice that your life is no more the same. Your fears are reduced, and you started trusting life more and more. This very simple experiment will reveal the truth. So, this is my sincere request, my dear friends. So, this transforms your life. This transforms your life because you have understood karma. If you really want to understand karma, you have to do this experiment. And then the other aspect the people do in their day-to-day life is interference. They interfere in others' affairs. Interference is in the form of criticism, judgment, nosiness. So we all judge consciously or unconsciously others. We all criticize others, and we poke into others' affairs. Nosiness is poking into others' affairs. So when you do that, it comes back to you. The more you criticize, the more you will be criticized. The more you judge others, the more you will be judged. And it is the karma. What you give comes back. As simple as that. And let us go through a little bit of understanding what is criticism. Criticism is imposing your will upon others. Why do somebody criticize? What is the very nature of criticism? Is you are trying to force your opinion on others by saying what you have done is bad, what you have done is good. You should not do that way. You should not do this way. So that is criticism. And getting others to act the way you want them. Whatever might be the motive, there might be hidden motives also why you are criticizing. So whenever you are criticizing, that means there is no acceptance. So when there is no acceptance from your side, then you cannot expect acceptance from others, from around you, from your surroundings. So you have to understand this. What you give comes back. And again, nosiness. Nosiness is a way to collect information. We always interfere in others' affairs by nosiness. We collect the information of others. We are more eager to see, what is the others' information, like failures. What are the other failures? What are they doing? What are they doing? Because this is more of gossip. This is more of poking your nose into others' affairs for your own personal benefit. Because people feel so happy that they see another person not doing well in their life, they get some kind of satisfaction, because that is the negative radiation they have. So when they have that attitude, they are again attract more and more negativeness. So we have to reflect upon ourselves. So the most important aspect is we have to reflect upon ourselves. What am I doing? So to reflect upon ourselves, we need more awareness. And how this awareness comes is through meditation. So let me go to that part later. First, let us understand the very basics of karma. Again, good karma. How do we lead a life, a day-to-day life, where we make sure we do more and more good karma? Is to live a life of non-violence. This is the teachings of Jesus Christ. This is the teachings of Buddha. This is the teachings of all the enlightened masters. All the major religions, they spoke about compassion. They spoke about non-violence. Because if you live a harmless life, your life will not be harmed. If you live a life of kindness, your life will be full of kindness. So this is the fundamental aspect of every major religion. But all the major religions are misunderstood. All the major religions are misunderstood because they don't understand this law of karma. Jesus spoke about this karma. Jesus spoke very clear. What you sow, so you reap. Whatever you sow, you will reap that. If you sow an apple seed, you will get an apple tree. You will never get any other tree. Whatever you have sown, you will get only that. Sowing an apple tree, sowing an apple seed, you cannot expect a mango tree. It is impossible. This is what Jesus said. As you sow, so you reap. You want good things in life, then you have to do good things. You have to seed all the good things in your life. This is what Jesus spoke, the greatest truth from an enlightened master. As you sow, so you reap. So shall you reap. And no interference, no complaints, no gossip. If you are gossiping and if you are complaining, that means you are not understanding the bigger picture. If you complain against somebody, that means you don't understand the bigger picture. When you don't understand the bigger picture, then there is complaint. So your inability to understand the bigger picture leads to criticism and to gossip and to complain. So when you do that, you are going to get that back. So in essence, non-interference. So how do you get this non-interference? You get this non-interference as you evolve, as your soul evolves, as you understand these spiritual laws, then you understand that I should not interfere. I should not interfere because I don't want any interference from the others. You see, whatever we do is for ourselves, isn't it? Whatever we do is for ourselves. Why should we meditate? It's for our evolution. Anything you do, whether it is it is for earning money, going to a job, or marriage, or children, anything you do is for your own self. Superficially, you might say, I'm doing it for others, but the deep down, it is for yourself. Even when you do service, people say, oh, I'm doing service because I want to help others. I want to make sure the others are getting benefited. Yes, the others get benefited, but why you want to do? You want to do because it gives you joy. Eventually, it gives you joy. Serving others gives you joy. So that's why you are doing it. So everything comes back to us, my dear friends. So even why am I taking this session? What do I get? I get a great joy. When I'm doing this session, I get joy. My soul is in joy. So that's why I'm doing it. So in turn, what it means fundamentally means we have to be responsible for our actions. The taking responsibility, this is the key word, my dear friends. You have to underline this word, responsibility. Karma is equal to responsibility, taking the responsibility. The more you take responsibility for your own life, the more you take responsibility for every situation in your life, then you can understand the karma to the depth of it. If you don't take responsibility, then there is always a blame game. I'm suffering because of him. I'm suffering because of her. I'm suffering because of the situation. I'm suffering because of the environment. I'm suffering because of the financial struggle. I'm suffering because somebody else is misunderstanding me. So when you try to put the blame on others, when you don't take the responsibility for yourself, then suffering is inevitable. But when you take the responsibility, then you come out of the suffering. So how to take responsibility? You take the responsibility by understanding the truth. What you give comes back to you. If you are happy in your life, you created that reality. You are happy because you gave happiness to others. You are living a harmonious life. You are living a happy life. So when you are living a harmonious, happy life, that is what you will feel. That is what you will get it back. That's what the society will give you back. That's what the whole of the universe will give you back. And if you are not happy, and if you are suffering, and if you are going through a lot of hardships, you created that reality. That is also the truth. Your suffering is your responsibility. Your happiness is your responsibility. If you understand this fundamental fact, then you are enlightened. So today's discussion and tomorrow's discussion is in this direction, is in this aspect of how to take responsibility, how to understand. The more understanding gives us the clarity. Understanding gives us the clarity, and the clarity empowers us to take responsibility. So that is the equation, my dear friends. Understanding is equal to clarity. Clarity is equal to your willpower to take the responsibility. And as I said, we have two things, destiny and free will. Some people ask me, some people say karma exists. Some people say, no, karma doesn't exist. What is the truth? Does karma exist or karma doesn't exist? Truth is always paradoxical. Yes, karma exists. At the same time, karma doesn't exist. How? Karma exists for the people who don't understand karma. Karma exists. And for the people who understood karma and who know how to use the free will, then because of the free will, they come out of the karma. So karma is there. That means destiny is also there. Free will is also there. So for the question, does karma exist? Yes, karma exists. Karma exists for the people who are not yet enlightened. Very simple. Karma exists for all the people who are not yet enlightened. Not enlightened means they are not in the truth yet. And karma doesn't exist for the people who are already enlightened. Karma doesn't exist because their actions are in alignment with the divine. So when your actions are in alignment with the divine, there is no karma. So now let us understand a little bit about free will. What is free will? We all have free will. Everybody has free will. Free will is your choice, your ability, your capacity to exercise your choices. We have infinite choices in front of us. In every given situation, we have infinite choices. But for the person who is stuck in karma, he cannot see the choices. Because of his own karma, he cannot see the choices. There is a blocks. He cannot see. But the more you work on your karma, the more you can see the choices. Or just with understanding, with very understanding, and just by doing meditation, you raise your awareness. When you raise your awareness, you can see the choices. So meditation gives you, helps you to exercise all your choices. So that's where meditation helps. So if somebody asks, okay, karma is there. I don't know what I have done in my past lives. Yes, I might have done many, many wrong things in my past lives. But what are the options in front of me now? Do I have to suffer? Do you have to continue suffering? No, you don't need to continue suffering. You have a choice. You can use your free will to overcome your destiny. Yes, free will overpowers the destiny. We all have destiny, but the free will overtakes the destiny. The free will has the final say. So how to use that free will? The answer is meditation. So if you ask the question, is there anything I can do today? Yes, you can do. And what you need to do is raising your awareness, understanding the fundamental aspect of life and understanding the truth. So when you understand the truth, when you are in alignment with the truth, then you can burn your karma. You don't need to go through suffering. And the most important fact, my dear friends, karma is not punishment. So many people, they think karma is punishment, but no, karma is not punishment. Karma is a beautiful tool. It is a beautiful tool which helps us to learn soul evolutions, to learn the soul lessons. So the more you learn the lessons, the more the evolution happens. So the foremost thing we have to understand about the karma is not a punishment. It is a beautiful tool which helps us in our soul evolution. So what you do comes back. You do anything bad, bad comes back. When the bad comes back, you understand how painful it is, how hurting is it. So once you experience the pain, then you don't want to do the pain. You don't want to give the pain to others. So you learn not to give pain. You see, because of that particular action, you have given the pain came back to you because of karma. And because the pain came back to you, you understood that that is not what you should give to others, because you already experienced the pain. You know how painful it is. Because you know how painful it is, you don't want to give it to anybody. So that has empowered you into compassion, and that has helped you to evolve. So every challenge we face in our life is because of karma, and every challenge helps us to learn a lot of lessons. So karma is not a punishment. So karma is there to help us to learn the lessons. So this is a very important aspect. So the main difference between, again, when it comes to the free will, the main difference between the humans and animals is animals, they live by instincts. Animals, they live by instincts. When they are hungry, they eat. They don't mind. They kill another animal, they eat, because that is their instincts. And every action, whether it is reproduction, whether it is their sex, or whether it is survival, everything is instincts. They follow their own animal world order. But the humans, no. The humans have the free will. The humans have the ability to discern. The humans have the ability to contemplate what is good and what is bad. And the humans have the free will, and the animals don't have the free will. Because the humans have the free will, the humans have karma, and the animals don't have karma. So that is a major difference. So again, the souls have free will. On the physical plane, the souls can postpone their karma and not to create new karma for the future. When they appropriately know how to handle the karma, they can either postpone the karma, or they can take up the challenge and they can learn the lessons. So they have both the choices. The free will on the soul is there. And once all your karmic accounts are balanced, all the bad karmas are neutralized, then you are out of the karmic loop. So, as I told you, the misconception of a karma is, it's a key to liberation. If you want to liberate yourself, it is a key. So it's just like a mirror. You can see the baby monkey is looking into the mirror, and what the baby monkey is seeing is the reflection of its physical. Similarly, if you see why there are certain challenges, why you attract certain people in your life, especially the relationships. Relationships are a major indicator. What relationship you have with yourself and what relationship you have with others, that is a reflection of you. And when you're able to see that reflection with awareness, then that becomes the key for your liberation. Because if you can able to see, this is not what I want, then what you want, you do that. See, there are two aspects. Again, for karma, there are two aspects. What you don't want, don't give it to others. What you don't want, don't give it to others. And what you want, you have to give it to others first. So this is the law, my dear friends. So you don't want suffering, so don't give suffering. So if you don't give suffering, suffering will not come back to you. Yes, but you want happiness, you want peace. So you have to do that first, give that first. If you want good friendship, you have to be a good friend first. Unless you are a good friend first, you cannot have good friendship. We all want loving relationships. So if you want loving relationship, you be a loving partner, you be a loving person first, then you receive back. So the two aspects to understand the karma is, what you don't want, don't give. But what you want, you give it first. Because when you give it first, again, the law of karma takes its course. What you give comes back. So this is the way to understand, friends. So again, there are categories of karma. Sanchita, Prarabdha, Kiyamana, or Agami. So there are three categories of karma. Sanchita means past, Prarabdha means current, and Kiyamana or Agami is future. What is Sanchita? Sanchita is, it's like a reservoir. It's a reservoir of all the karmas you have done in all your past lives. From the time you have incarnated for the first time till this moment, from the time you have incarnated the very first time until this moment, whatever the karma you have done, both positive and negative, it's all it's in a reservoir. It is called Sanchita. And Prarabdha means before the soul is born, the soul chooses, I want to take this much karma into the present life. Because the soul cannot take all the negative karma of all the lives, then it will be a disaster. The soul cannot sustain on the planet Earth. So the soul chooses, according to its free will, the soul chooses, this is the particular portion of the karma I want to bring into this present life. These are the lessons I want to learn in this lifetime. And for those lessons, I will bring this much of the karma. From the Sanchita, from the reservoir, from your own reservoir, you bring a portion of it. You decide before you are born, you decide that this is the karma I bring into the present life. And that portion is called Prarabdha. Prarabdha is something which is inevitable. It will happen because it is decided before you are born. That is your current lifetime karma. Nobody can do anything about it. It will happen. It will happen. The karma is going to manifest, but how you respond to it is again your free will. Okay. So first, Sanchita. Sanchita is all the reservoir. The second is the Prarabdha. The Prarabdha is what you have chosen to bring in this present life. And Kiyamana, the third category. So the Kiyamana means whatever the karma you do this moment, like you have brought in the Prarabdha, and how you react to that particular karma, how you face to that particular karma becomes your future. How you handle a particular challenge in this present moment becomes Kiyamana. So if you have not handled it well, so it creates more bad karmas for the future. So that is Kiyamana. So Kiyamana is that something which is going to happen in the future because of your present actions. So that is Kiyamana. And there is another category called Agami. Agami means you understand the bigger picture of karma and you want to make sure that you want to create a beautiful journey for the future. So because you want to create a beauty for your own future journey, you plan that and you do certain actions. So that actions you do to plan for a better future, that is Agami. So in other words, Agami is you are planning for your future. So you do it consciously. So that is Agami. So these are the categories of karma, my dear friends. And if you want to go through a little bit of examples, then let me blah, blah, blah. Okay, so let me go through the slides once again so that you can understand. So Sanchita, as I explained, is a sum of all karmas from all the lifetimes. And then Prarabdha is a portion of Sanchita which you are bringing in. And so whatever you bring in, that manifests as Prarabdha, manifests as destiny. Some people call fate and some people call destiny. That is inevitable. It happens to us. And because we brought in that sanchita, our body-mind conditioning also is accordingly to that way. Okay, so why we behave in a certain way, why the actions are in certain way, why our thoughts are in certain way, our desires are in certain way, is because of prarabdha, because you have planned for it in this lifetime. And kiyamana, as I told you, how you are responding to your prarabdha is your kiyamana. And agami is planning for your future. You use your free will, you exercise your free will to plan for your future. So that is agama. An example would be, if you are doing serious meditation today, you will be a better human. So that's agami, your actions. And if you're doing good things today, you know the good is going to come back. So friends, I can go on a little bit, but first I want to consolidate whatever we have discussed till now. I want to consolidate, and then we can go forward. So how to consolidate will be through questions. So if you have any questions for the things we have discussed so far, because I'm going to share a lot of things, there is again an intensity of karma, and there are more examples I'm going to give at a later stage. So you will understand more and more. But first, I want to make sure you have just understood what has happened so far, what has discussed so far. So let us integrate step by step before we go to the next topic. So it's time for the questions. If you have any questions so far, then I'm happy to take that questions. Yes, if somebody wants to ask questions, they can raise their hand,
Hi.
they can unmute, and then they can speak. Yes.
Hi, Pradeep.
Hi,
This is
hi,
Chris
Jose.
speaking now. Very interesting explanations you've done so far. And I just want to. It just came something to my awareness that same as you, I was born in a family where we were meat eaters, and through bringing more awareness to myself as well, I became something already was for me that meeting it was not quite good, so I became more just eating fish, but then I became even more aware of that pain and suffering from the animals, and I didn't want that for me either, so I became vegan, and that for me was working very well, but I got a conflict where I don't want any suffering from any being on this planet, so I don't want to participate in that. I don't want that in me. But on the other hand, my family, they are not. So I'm still buying products. They are, from animals, the suffering. So how, how do you go around this sort of a conflict? Because I'm fully aware of that, but on the other hand, I cannot impose my will to them. So they have that will for themselves. So I don't know how to move, and I don't know how that actions that are aware from me, but aware also how bad it is when I buy for them.
Yeah,
How
I
that affects my
understand.
family.
I
Yeah.
understand. So that's a very interesting question, Jose. You see, first you have taken a very good step, because you said that is in your experience. As you raise your awareness, you stopped eating meat first, and then you stopped eating fish. So that's a very important realization you have gone through. But the question you asked is also a very important question. You see, according to karma, especially when it comes to the food habits, there is a statement given by Krishna in Bhagavad Gita. So, in essence, what the statement is, the person who abets, the person who abets, the person who kills, the person who trades, the person who buys, the person who cooks, the person who serves, and the person who eats, all are part of the same karma. You see? So, yes, you are not eating meat, but you are paying money and buying it. So that is going to come back to you. And you might say, or some people might say, I have become vegetarian, I'm not eating, but I'm just cooking for my husband. Still, you are part of the karma. And somebody says, I'm not cooking, I'm just buying from the restaurant and I'm just feeding my children. Again, part of the same karma. So you have to understand the wholeness of it. The reason why you are a vegetarian is not because it is bad. The reason is you have become so sensitive that you should not be the reason for the suffering. Now, if that is clear, then the choices are very clear. In my case, when I became a vegetarian, my family members are still eating meat. So how I handled is very simple. I said, I choose to be a vegetarian out of my own choice. But at the same time, I'm not going to impose my awareness. I'm not going to impose my awareness on others. So I explained my family members why it is important to be a vegetarian. So for me, it is my duty to explain my loved ones why I have become a vegetarian. I've explained scientifically, I've explained spiritually. And I said, it is your free choice. You do what you want to do, but I won't be part of it. And I stopped eating, I stopped buying, I stopped even serving. When I go to restaurants with my friends, and if I'm treating my friend, and if my friend is ordering anything which is not plant-based food, I won't pay the bill. I make sure I don't pay the bill, even if somebody is ordering. Even if I asked my colleagues as a guest to come for a restaurant, I won't pay for it. I'll explain them it is not in my dharma that I do this. Sorry. So you can handle it in a very gentle way with understanding. With the understanding, the other person also will change when they realize the truth. So having this compassion and allowing the people to exercise their own free will, I took my stand. When it comes to, you see, this statement is a very beautiful statement I like. When it comes to opinions, flow like a river. But when it comes to principles, stand like a rock. This is a statement by Swami Vivekananda. When it comes to opinions, flow like a river. Different people have different opinions. Just flow, don't be rigid. But when it comes to principles, your own principles, stand like a rock. So I hope I answered your question. Jose, are you there? You are on the mute, we can't hear you if you're speaking. Anyway, I think you will come back.
Hi.
Yeah, you came back. Okay.
For some reason, sorry, I was trying to. Yeah, you did explain quite nicely. Well, it's just I know it might sound like excuse, but it's on the practical level. Sometimes it's a bit difficult because until
Yes,
they
it
make
is
these
difficult.
choices and
It
these
is
choices.
difficult.
Yeah.
It is difficult because that is a test. That is a test for you. It is a difficult choice, but are you willing to take the difficult choice is a test for your soul evolution. And the free choice is yours.
True. You know, when it first that happened at the beginning, I was very conscious about it. You know, I was the same as you said. I was not buying anything, I was not paying for anything, but that brought a lot of conflict into the relationships. And at some point, I have to think about, well, am I imposing my views to them in a way, or you know? But I always had this conflict about because I was very aware about the whole thing, and so and even though, as you said, I'm not eating it, but I'm contributing to the suffering by paying, by buying, by cooking, by all that. So yeah, probably I think that bringing more awareness to my environment and be more clear about that, and yeah, probably will help a bit more. But yeah, it was very clear the way you explain it, and it makes more sense, to be honest. So thank you.
Okay, thank you, Jose. And I'll just let me share this example. in my journey, when I took a very firm stand with my family, when I took a very firm stand, initially they were upset with me. And when they're upset with me, I was still having the understanding that they have every right to get upset with me. So I understood them. So that understanding helped me to focus on my principles. And for 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, they're upset. And the 4th month, they came in terms with me because I started respecting their free will. I'm not imposing anything, but I have taken a very clear choice. So they started accepting me. And I think in 3 years' time, my entire family members, they became vegetarian. Because one day, my mother, she asked me, I'm going through so much of tension and stress in my life, but how come you are so cool and relaxed all the time? Because she used to share something with me, and I like, okay, that's your challenge, you handle it. And she was like, this is very, how can you be so cool and relaxed all the time? When she asked, after 3 years, I told her, because I meditate. And if you want to be cool and relaxed, you also meditate, and you will also be cool and relaxed. She said, really? Is it possible? Is it possible I let go of all my problems? I said, yes, possible. Why don't you make an experiment? So she did this experiment. So she started meditating sincerely, and she started becoming vegetarian because she wants to experiment. So she became vegetarian and she started meditating, and she realized the truth. And now she's teaching meditation to others. So this is how you inspire. So every challenge gives an opportunity. Our actions should be an inspiration for others. When you take a very firm stand, when you take a really firm stand, I'm sure your loved ones will understand you. They will understand you because they are your loved ones. And if they don't understand you, then you know what is the truth. Thank you, Jose. Okay, so next question. Anybody?
Hello.
Yes.
Yeah, hi, Pradeep ji. This is Nirzari here. Uh, Everything you said really kind of hit home because you explain it very well. And somewhere I have been reading few scriptures like Gita, I would say. There is something that I've come across, which is so probably it's a part of Western philosophy, or some adaptation of Gita in the Western philosophy, which is called law of grace. And many teachers say that the grace supersedes karma. I mean, that is what I've read in few books. So if you can explain that, like in some of the books it's mentioned that once you uh, go beyond the cycles of karma, there is something called as grace, which, and even when you are here, like experiencing everything, when you accept everything, that's grace. So I mean, if you can just um, highlight on that part, how to come out of the cycles of karma, as in where you are not no longer a part of this repeated karmic cycles, how to reach
Okay.
there, how to reach grace.
Okay, so probably a part of your question about the grace and how to come out of the karma will come in the later cycles, about when you understand more about the intensities with case studies and with pre-birth planning. You'll understand that part. But let me share
Okay.
this part with regards to, I want to share a couple of experiences I had, because I travel around and I meet many spiritual teachers around the world. And there is this understanding. Some people, they understand that whatever you do it out of grace, right? There's no karma,
Yeah.
right? For example, there was this. I was having this beautiful friend from Australia in Gold Coast, and we were just going for a dinner for the first time, and she ordered something in the menu. I was a bit surprised that she was ordering fish. And I was so shocked because she's a spiritual teacher. She speaks about love. She speaks about love. She teaches about love. And I was so shocked. And I just asked, okay, what is this? There is no, right? Your actions doesn't reflect of who you are. So then she said, yes, of course, I know killing animals are bad. Of course, I know it. So that's why I bless the food before I eat it.
Okay.
So she orders a plate of chicken. She orders a plate of chicken, and she says she is blessing that chicken so that she feels that it's absolutely okay. There is no karma because she has radiated her grace and she has blessed the food. So it's absolutely okay to eat that meat. And I was like, okay, so this is how the people are. This is how the mind plays the role. So the mind is very, very cunning. So the mind says, okay, killing is fine, pain is fine, suffering is fine. As long as you can bless it, everything is okay. So then I asked her, is it okay if I kill you now and bless you? I simply asked, is it okay? I kill you now, and of course I'll bless you after I killed you. So why to kill in the first place and why to bless it? So this is the nature of the mind. So one has to be aware how the mind plays the role. That's why I said in the beginning, if you want to understand the topic of karma, you have to understand by heart, not by mind. If you understand by mind, it will mislead you. If you understand by heart, it will guide you. Your own inner voice from your heart will guide you in the right direction. So this is one such example, and there are many, many examples I can give how the mind plays a role. So coming back of using the grace is something which radiates from within you, not just by lip service. If somebody is saying grace, it doesn't mean it's graceful. If somebody speaks love, it doesn't mean there is love. It should radiate from the very being. Jesus Christ was full of grace. He was full of grace because that is what he radiates. It's not because what he speaks. It is because what he radiates. It is because of his actions. When he was put on the cross and when he is getting crucified, even in that moment, when people are crucifying him, he said, "Oh Lord, please forgive them. They don't know what they are doing." So he is still not judging the people. He asked for forgiveness for the people who are putting the nails. He said, "Please forgive them. They don't know what they are doing. Oh Lord, please forgive them. They don't know what they are doing." So that is the grace. So the grace is something which radiates, not something which comes when you speak. So I think you understand. So for a person, who radiates grace, yes, there is no karma. There is no karma because that person is in alignment with the divine. Is in alignment with the truth. So when you are in alignment with the truth, divine is equal to truth. When you are in alignment with the truth, there is no karma. Okay?
Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks. So who's next?
Shilpa here. Can I go ahead?
Yes, Shilpa.
Yeah. My question is on non-interference, wherein you mentioned complaining, criticizing, all this comes under that. Yeah. So I would like to give a situation which I usually come across and want to know how better I can respond to it. I wouldn't want to unnecessarily criticize about what others are doing, but if it is impacting me, for example, a person is speaking in a rude way to me, and I'm hurt, and I need to share it with somebody just to make myself feel better, so that I will not get stuffed up. And it's a family member, and I understand why that person is doing, their challenges and their state of mind, but still it does hurt me. So what is that I should do so that I don't criticize or I don't complain, but still be able to feel fine with whatever has happened?
Okay.
And not carry that hurt feelings.
Okay. You see, first is to take responsibility. Okay. You are going through a certain challenging situation. Yes, accept it, that nobody is responsible for this. I am responsible. I created this. So that is the first step, to take the responsibility. And the second step is, yes, accepting that I'm hurt. So you can express saying, I am hurt. But when you say, you hurt me, that is blaming. You can express that I am hurt. You have all the free will. You have to express your emotions. You have to express, yes, I am. When you are sharing with your loved ones, when you say, I am going through this pain, I am suffering, and I need to know what I need to learn, and I need to know how I can come out of the suffering. So that is right. But when you are sharing that that person has given this trouble to me, and because of him I'm suffering, and because of her I'm suffering, and because of the situation I'm suffering, then you are not taking responsibility. You're just putting a blame. And when you're putting a blame, then that goes into cycles and cycles and cycles, because every challenge comes to you to learn something. So when you focus on the learning, then you come out of the karma.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Thank you. So who's next? There's another Sonia Kapasi.
Hi, Pradeep. Nice to see you again.
Hi.
Yes. So my question was, one thing that I learned today was I have a new puppy and I'm buying, though we are all vegetarians, but I'm buying doggy food, which is of course meat. And I have to see how I'm going to transition from my puppy from a non-veg to a vegetarian. So that's my task for this year now. So something that you just said, you said there's average 400 to 450 lifetimes, right? Which is when the soul matures. Now in this, there'll be all different. So there'll be human form, there'll be animal form. Correct me if that's correct.
No. This 400 to 450 is after you take the human incarnation.
Okay, so after the human incarnation. Okay.
Yes.
So when you are in the animal form, that's not what it's counted, because you can't build your karma if you are in an animal form, right?
Yes.
You can't do that, right?
Yes. Animals don't have karma. Yes.
Yeah, that's something I just wanted to reaffirm.
Animals in the wild on their own, they don't have karma. But you are feeding meat to the dog. The dog doesn't have karma because the dog is dependent on you. So the dog doesn't have the karma, but you have that karma.
Yeah, that's something which I learned today. Yeah, so it's good. Okay,
yeah.
no, just
and I want to give some examples. I have met a dog in Australia. The dog is so huge. It's so huge and so so strong. It's almost like a lion. So big. It was in one of the ashrams I went in Melbourne, in Hare Krishna ashram, in the Great Ocean Road. So when I entered the ashram, Hare Krishna people, they are known for their compassion and vegetarianism. So when I entered, so this dog which came running towards me, and I was like a little bit taken aback, and just I was cautiously witnessing. And then immediately the owner of the property, he stepped out of his car, and he said, he's such a loving being. His name is Beam, and he will be around you in this property, and he's very friendly. But just make sure if you give any biscuits which has egg, or if you give any meat, he will never come to you again.
Wow.
This introduction was, wow, really? And the dog is a vegetarian? He said, yes, from the birth, the dog is a vegetarian. And he said, when the puppy is in her mother's womb, the mother is also vegetarian. So the dog was very sensitive towards this. And I have met cats which are vegetarian. So in the beginning, the masters were not vegetarian. I think sorry. So in the beginning, the masters were not vegetarian, and they were feeding meat to the cats, and the cats were also eating meat. But later on, the masters, the owners of the cat, they become vegetarian. They transformed from within. They didn't become vegetarian for the sake of becoming vegetarian. They transformed from within and they became vegetarian. And they started noticing the cats started eating what they were eating. The cat started eating fruits. The cat started eating lettuce and all the veggies. And so that is an indication the cat is saying, I'm also willing to change. So the pets normally follow the masters. But before they follow the masters, they give a challenge. They give a test. They give a test to really, really see the master has changed or not. So for example, you give a meat. Initially, they might not eat. They might refuse. But you stick on to the principle and you say, no, please understand. You can speak to them. You know, they are very, the pet animals are very sensitive beings. So you can speak to them lovingly that this, I don't want to do this. Please don't make me to do this. I want your help. So if you can speak, you see the wonders. Within few weeks, they become vegetarian.
Oh, that's nice. Good to know. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Right. So any other questions we have before we go to the next
Can
topic?
Nancy?
Yes, Nancy.
Good karma is generated by our compassionate actions that benefits the whole universe.
Benefit others, generally others. It can be the whole universe, or it can be one person generally.
Or the plants or the animals. And my question is, all people with miraculous mind and positive mind are continuously creating dharma. Is
karma.
That dharma? That's okay, or that's something different?
Dharma is different. Dharma is different. Dharma means your soul duty.
Okay, so we'll see later, right?
Yes, of course, we'll discuss it later, but I just want to give you this explanation. Karma is action. What you give comes back to you, right? It's a law. Karma is a law. But dharma is another Sanskrit word, which means your soul duty. Okay, so my dharma, if my actions are in alignment with my soul duty, then it is my dharma. So dharma is my soul duty. So my dharma is different from your dharma. Okay, so we all have a collective dharma. As a planet Earth, we all have a collective duty. So dharma is the duty. We all have a collective duty, but I have my own individual duty towards my children, towards my family, and towards my neighbors. I have a dharma towards myself. So dharma is your soul duty. Your duty is your dharma.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, hi Pradeep. This is Manikanda Sai.
Yes, hi Manikanda.
Hi. Yeah, I can see you now. Oh, sorry, I'm not able to see you. I just have one thing to share with you. As you mentioned, the dog. You're talking about the dog one, which is so nice to you. Even in my experience, also, I found one dog where the family members used to treat like a dog as a family member. And what happened over the period of time, dogs used to be so nice, not only with the family members, but around the people. And over the period of time, what happened? The dog passed away. And the family members cried like an anything. So then when we spoke to the family members, they said we treated that dog like a family member, and she never used to bark or never used to bite or shout on the other people. She used to be very nice and we treated so well. And it's like, and we have 4 people, have 4 sons, and she's like a fifth person in my family. So I never felt like she will be passed away so early. But as explained to them, as you have taken the birth in this place, so even the dog has also taken some good. Dog has also taken the birth to remove that karma. For example, in the past, she might be some lady or the person. She has done beautiful things in her life, but has done some mistakes. But because of that, maybe she was reborn as an animal. Now she was born, or he was born in a good family, so she was treated very well in such a way like she will be very nice, not only with you as well as the surroundings around. So now you see the karma is over. She has already left. Now she will be in a good health. Maybe she was born in a very different scenario, maybe as an animal or whatever it may be.
So,
But
Manikanta,
when you, what
yeah.
I learned from this, when you treat
Before you go,
any person,
Manikanta, just a minute. Before you go further, there is fundamentally there is some small correction which needs, because the human, once the animal takes the life form of a human, once the animal graduates into a human, the law doesn't permit to go back. So that's one of the spiritual laws, the law of constant progression. So that means there is no going backwards. So there are three ways a human incarnates on the planet Earth. So the first is for the graduation from the animal kingdom. We have 4 kingdoms on the planet Earth: mineral kingdom, plant kingdom, animal kingdom, and human kingdom. So the graduation, the evolution happens from mineral to plant, from plant, the consciousness graduates from plant kingdom to some mineral kingdom to plant kingdom, and plant kingdom to animal kingdom, and animal to human. So that's one way where the souls graduate from animal to human. And in that process of graduation, the final incarnations within the animal kingdom, they are the pets. They are like the dogs, the horses, the cows, the cats, the elephants. So these animals, it's almost their last lifetime, and their next incarnation is a human. So animals are part of the group soul. They don't have individual soul. So in their final lifetimes, they exhibit phenomenal friendship with the human. So when they exhibit phenomenal friendship, they understand, sometimes they even understands the emotions of the humans, their masters. They understand, they pick up their emotions. So that is an indication that that is the last lifetime for that animal, and the next is a graduation to the human. Okay, so that's one thing. And the second and the third aspects, how a human comes. The second aspect is after the human becomes enlightened, he becomes part of the source, and he places a small speck of his own consciousness. Like, when the adults become, when the body becomes adult, they become eligible to reproduce, they give birth. Similarly, when the soul gets enlightened, they place a small speck of their consciousness onto the planet Earth as a human. So that is the second way the human comes. And the third way the human comes are the star seeds. So they are the people from the other dimension. They are the people from other realities. We have infinite planets. We have infinite star systems in our entire cosmos. So they come on a mission. They come for their own project work. So that is the third. The third category is called the star seeds. So these are the 3 ways the human gets incarnated on the planet Earth. So what you are referring to, your example, is the case of the animal graduating to the human. So the next lifetime is a human. Okay.
Pradeep, we have some questions also on the chat. Shall I also go through them?
Yeah, please.
Yeah. So we have Pradeep Doshi, who's asking, can we neutralize some karma before they manifest?
Yes, I'll come to the topic later, but the answer is yes.
Okay. So then we have Bindu. She was asking, what about milk when we talk about food coming from animals? Can we consume it?
If the milk is coming, see, the cows are very evolved, as I said. Why the cow is called a holy cow in India, why the cow takes a very special place in India, is because of the maturity of the cow within the animal kingdom. The cows are so mature, they have such intelligence, they have such maturity, they have such sensitivity that they understand the human emotions. So traditionally in India, the cows are called the holy cows. And in the olden days, every house used to have a cow in India. Every house, they used to have a cow. And they have names for the cows. They treat the cow as part of the family member. And they feed the cows, they take care of the cows, they bathe the cows, and they look after it really well because it's sacred for them, it's part of their family. And when the cow gives birth, then it starts producing milk for the baby, primarily for the baby to consume. So the people in India, traditionally, they let the calf drink the milk first. Because if you don't let the calf drink the milk and straight away you go milking, the cow will kick you. So the cow will first give the milk to the calf. And once the cow gives the milk to the calf, then the cow stops the milk, stops the flow of the milk, and the cow kicks the calf. It says, enough, your quota is finished, enough. And then the cow produces the milk again out of gratitude for the master who has taken care of it. So that milk is the milk of love and gratitude. So when you consume that milk has a lot of gratitude and love, and it has a lot of healing properties. That's why in Ayurveda, the cow's milk is part of medicine. Okay, so this kind of milk is really medicinal because it is out of gratitude. But if you're speaking about the milk from the factory farming, like the cows are so tied up in the factories, it has gone through so much of cruelty, and the baby is born, the baby is separated from the mother, and it is thrown to the butcher, and the baby is slaughtered in front of the cow, and you're putting machines and you're sucking the milk, then that energy is pain and suffering, and that milk is very, very bad. So it is all the choices you make. So if you know the source of the milk, then the milk is good. And if you don't know the source of it, make sure you do a little bit of research, and that milk is good.
That's very well put, Pradeep. We have Pankaj Bhargava. I will unmute. Yeah, Pankaj Bhargava, you can unmute yourself now.
You have to unmute. We can't hear you.
Hello.
Pankaj.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah. I do have a couple of queries. I'm not really sure whether it is the right forum, but
if you're not sure, please don't ask.
It is sort of related, but may not be totally related. But it does come up because
one thing at a time. You please go one question at a time. Yeah, thanks.
Sure. So you had mentioned that you are not supposed to harm others.
Not supposed to. I mean, if you do, it will come back to you.
Yeah, true. But what do you say for a soldier whose line of duty to protect his nation, he has to harm the enemy? So what would be your take on this?
Okay, that's also a very good question. You see, every law has an exception. The law is there, but every law has an exception. We don't speak about the exception, but we speak about the law. So the exception for this law of karma is, this is the exception. You don't harm others, but if others are trying to harm you, so for example, you don't kill animals, but a tiger is going to attack you, the tiger is going to kill you. So that moment, you have every right to kill back the tiger. So that is an exception. So that doesn't count under the karma.
Okay.
But the poor goat, the sheep or hen, they are happily playing, and you go and kill them, that is karma. So similarly, if a soldier is in the border and he's defending, and out of his defense, somebody is killing him, and out of his defense, he is killing back, that doesn't consider as into the karma. He's doing his duty. But for his soul, he has to understand that killing is no way. So that's why most of the evolved souls, most of the highly evolved souls, they don't choose that profession. But if the person is aware of it and conscious of it, and he's aware of the karma, and he says, I am not going to kill anybody, but if somebody is going to kill me, I am going to kill him back. So then he has the right understanding of karma.
Okay. And with regards to the grace, you had mentioned a certain example, right? So is it true that the highly spiritually evolved masters who are generally constantly present in a very small volume, do they possess the powers to negate your karma?
Okay. So this is again a common question. Do the spiritual masters can help you take a bit of your karma? Okay. So this also we will discuss at a later part. But the answer is yes, it is possible, but only when the student has learned the lessons. You see, you are asking about a teacher and a student. Like the student is going through a certain karmic things, and can the teacher help the student? The answer is yes, it is possible, and still no. Answer is yes and no. So I will say how it is yes and how it is no.
Okay.
If you see, the karma is there to teach you some lessons. Yes, do you agree to that?
Yeah.
So the very karma is to learn some lessons. And if you didn't learn that lesson, then no teacher can help you. Because you didn't learn that lesson. No teacher, no real teacher, let me emphasize, no real teacher, no authentic teacher will help you, because the teacher is fully aware that you need to learn that lessons, and he won't interfere in your learning process. The teacher never will interfere in your learning process, so he will not help you in your karma. So in that way, it is no. But some people, out of their limited understanding, if they have some gifts and they think they can help others, without understanding the bigger picture, they go try to help others. Like somebody is going through some illness, some headache or some cancer or something. So this person, because of their own gifts, if he's going to help them to heal just by giving some energy and then taking out their problems, so that becomes an interference of then the learning process. So this person, this healer, will get the karma of the person who is suffering to his karma. Because when you interfere in others' karma, you will get the karma back into your account. So that's why in the highest spiritual order, there is no healing. There is only self-healing. Self-healing is perfect, and healing others is not permitted in the highest form of spiritual evolution. And now the other part, when the teacher helps in taking the other karma. Suppose the student has already learned the lesson. The student has already learned the lesson. So when you already learned the lesson, that means you are no more in the loop of the karma. You see, there are two things to understand in karma. One is the loop. One is the karmic loop. And the other is the residue, the balancing factor. So the student has learned the lesson. So if the student has learned the lesson, then the purpose of the karma is finished. Because of that karma, he learned the lesson. So he is out of the loop of the karma. So he won't attract the same challenge again in his life because he learned the lesson. But still, the residue is there. The residues of the karma is there. So the teacher can help negate the residue of the karma only by 10%, not fully, only 10%. And that 10% goes a long way in the student's evolution. And when will the teacher help? The teacher will help when the teacher sees the potential that this person is ready for the next evolution, ready for the next stage in his journey. But his residues, his karmic residues are tying him down. So when the teacher is absolutely confident, is absolutely sure that he is ready for the next stage in his spiritual progress, only then the teacher will help take the karma. And that too, not all the sanchita karma, no, only 10%. So that 10% helps him to go to the next level in his spiritual journey. Now, here, what is the residue? I'll give you an example. A person A kills B. A person A kills a person B out of anger, frustration, or whatever. After killing the person, after A kills B, the karma is there for the A. So he will be getting killed by another person or from the same person. But the person has learned the lesson. After killing the person realized it is a mistake that he shouldn't have done. So he realized it. He learned the lesson not to kill anymore. So once he learned the lessons, he is out of the loop of the karma. But still the residue is there. The residue is the suffering of the B and his family members. So because of his killing, his wife and children has all suffered. So that is the residue of his karma. So he has to neutralize it. In other words, one act of negative karma has to be neutralized by one act of positive karma. So the more you do positive karma, the more you do good karma, the more it negates the residue of all your bad karma. Some people have this misunderstanding. The more I do good karma, the more the bad karma goes away. That is a wrong understanding. It is half truth, and half truths are always dangerous. Every action you do, every karma you do, there is a lesson to be learned. And only when you learn the lesson, after you learn the lesson, the good karma helps you to take off the residue. And after you have learned the lesson and after you have neutralized the residue, then you are completely out of the karma. So all your good karmas helps you to neutralize the residues of the negative karma. But the first step is to learn the lesson. After you learn the lesson, then it helps.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Next question.
Yeah, Pradeep, we have on the chart in regards with the healing. So no healing should be done without knowing anyone.
Take it along with you.
Okay, nice. So I'm unmuting now. Pradeep Doshi, you have your hand up. Yes, you can go ahead.
No, my question is answered already.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions?
Yes, we have. Yes, Nishaji, you can unmute yourself now. Yeah. Yeah, you
Hello,
can
sir.
talk.
Sir, as you said that it's an average of 400 to 450 lifetimes for a soul. So
Yes, it's an average.
how come it is decided what is the number of lifetimes a soul has to take? Like for some it is very less and for some it is very large number.
Yes. So it depends on how you use your free will. It depends on how you learn the lessons, how fast you learn the lessons. So for example, if you want to learn a particular lesson, for example, the lesson of forgiveness, okay? Before the soul is born, the soul says, okay, I want to learn the lesson of forgiveness. So in order to learn that lesson, the soul also chooses certain situations, certain challenges. According to its own karmic reservoir, it will choose certain situations to learn that lesson. And the soul has a free will. After it is born, as I said, we all have a free will. So the soul can choose to learn the lesson, or the soul chooses to blame others. So when the soul is blaming others and not taking responsibility, then the soul is postponing the lesson. So in the next lifetime, the soul takes in one more lifetime to learn the same lesson. Again, one more lifetime, one more lifetime, one more lifetime, until the soul learns the lessons. So you will be surprised. Some people, they learn the lesson in one lifetime, and some people, they may not learn even after 10 lifetimes because they keep repeating the same things. So that's why I said the awareness is the key factor. The more you are aware, And awareness fundamentally is the quality of your soul. Awareness is the quality of your soul. And your awareness increases the more you do meditation. The more you do meditation, the more you become aware. Your awareness level increases. So as your awareness level increases, you can see crystal clear. You can see crystal clear what is the lesson to learn and why this is happening. So with that clarity, you progress very quickly. So with that awareness, you don't need many lifetimes. You need just very short, in very short lifespan, with very few cycles, you learn, you finish all the lessons. But if that awareness is not there, then out of the ignorance, the soul does the same mistakes again and again and again. Then the soul eventually has to take many lifetimes. Okay.
Right. And sir, whenever a soul is born for the first time, then all our infant souls, whenever they come to earth,
yes. So that's why
all
I said,
souls are in.
that's why I said it is a game. It is a game on the planet Earth. In the beginning, the souls inevitably, in the beginning, everybody inevitably, they will do bad karmas. And because of the bad karmas, they learn the lessons. And because of that learning process, they evolve. So that is a very game of the soul incarnating on the planet Earth for the soul expansion.
Right, sir. And so one more thing. It is said that karma starts for a child by the age of 4 or 5.
No, not really. Karma is not for the physical. Karma is for the soul. So
it is by birth, right from the birth.
Yeah, so that is the topic we'll discuss next, like why certain babies are born in challenging environments, why certain children are born in poor families, why they are born with unloving parents, born with parents who are so abusive, and why certain souls are born in loving families. So
because
why
my
certain
baby is
souls...
also suffering from a health challenge.
Let me complete. Why certain babies are born with certain illness by birth. So it all, if you see, there is injustice, there is tragedy, why my poor baby has to suffer. But if you see from the physical eyes, there is injustice and tragedy. But if you see through your spiritual eye, there is absolutely no tragedy. So this is a statement from an enlightened master. It's called Richard Bach. So what he said is, the depth of your belief in injustice and tragedy is the mark of your ignorance. So in reality, the truth is, in the whole of the creation, there is no injustice, there is no tragedy. For a person who understands the spiritual law, for the person who understands the law of karma, it is a perfect law, and it is not injustice, it is not tragedy. But if you don't understand that, then we are very limited. Our perception is very limited. So when we see our limited perception, then there is tragedy. But when we expand our perception, when we understand the bigger picture, then there is no tragedy. So everything happens for a reason. So this is the mantra, right? This is the mantra. At every given point of time in your life, if you remember this mantra, then there is a constant progress. The mantra is, whatever happens, it happens for good. And it happens for a reason. And if you remember this, then you come out of the suffering. Okay.
We have Krishna Chaitanya, last one. Pradeep.
Yes, Krishna.
Hi, sir. I'm from Hyderabad, a student of Brahmashri Pitamaha Patriji. But right now working at Maitreyas International. Can I request you for a class for maybe next week? Same class in Telugu, maybe. Can I get your appointment after some time?
You don't need appointment. It is a yes, but you can. Yes, I'm happy to do that, but we have to see the time slots and the timing.
Yeah,
yes.
Can you please take down my number so that maybe you can WhatsApp me later?
Maybe Ramesh, can you help? Can you Ramesh, can you help take his?
Yeah, I will be in touch with Krishna Chaitanya. Okay.
9990.
I will text
another
you.
platform.
Yeah.
Now this is a question answer discussion.
Yeah, maybe, that's what. Thank you.
Maybe you can type. You can type in the chat and you can send it to
I will
Ramesh.
type in the chat and thank you so much. I actually met you in Kartal. If you can remember me, I don't know. I met you in Kartal and you yourself talked to me. I didn't talk to you because I know who you are because you bought the crystal and you did the class in Kartal. So I read some things in Jara Jagat and all. So, but I never talked to anybody. But you yourself came to me and spoke to me. And now we're into spreading. Anyway,
I don't remember that, Krishna. I'm hopeful that we will meet again. Yes.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, we have Kavita Reddy. Yes, please go ahead.
Hello, sir. This is such a wonderful session. My question is suffering via non-interference. How does karma play a role in this?
Sorry, come again with the question, madam.
Suffering via non-interference. Meaning you don't have anything to do with what's going on, but it impacts you. How does karma plays a role in this?
It impacts you because of your karma. If karma is not there, it won't impact you.
Okay.
The very fact, the very fact it is impacting you is the very understanding that it is karmic.
And how do you overcome that?
Yes, that we will come into the integration part. But for you, the answer is take responsibility, becoming more aware of what you are doing. Take responsibility. And of course, meditation is a very, very, very important tool. It's a necessary tool which helps you to raise your awareness. And through raising your awareness, you can burn your karma. Right? So we'll discuss more in the integration part.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. So I will also want to answer this question. This is one of the common questions people have. How do I know whether I am going through a karmic relationship? How do I know I am stuck? How do I know the challenge which I'm going through is a karma or not? How do I know that? How do I identify? So this is one of the common questions people ask. You see, the relationships are very, very, very important because it has an emotional angle to it. And so what relationship you have towards yourself, and also what relationships you are currently in, right? It can be your wife, it can be your husband, it can be your children, it can be your friends. And why you attracted that relationship in the first place. And because of that relationship, people suffer a lot. And why they have to suffer? It is because of karma. If something is happening to you, and if something is happening around you, and if that is impacting you, that is a karmic relationship. And if something is happening to you and it is not impacting you, then you are out of karma. So this is a fundamental understanding one needs to have, right? So that with this understanding, you can interpret in the right way and you can start working on it. Okay. So let us go to the next question. Any other question?
Pradeep, with this, we have finished all the questions.
Okay, good. So I hope that it is precise and it is reaching out.
Yeah, we see one of the participants just raising the hands. Shall I unmute?
Yeah, please go ahead. So through this, it is important. The reason why I want it to be interactive, because this interaction, this asking these questions, when one person asks a question, it helps many, many people understand. And asking questions, understanding with right examples is the right way of integrating the things. And this is very, very impactful rather than going through the slides and the theory. Yes, there are a lot of theory, there is a lot of slides I can show you, but this is a very apt, and this is a powerful way of integrating the things. So I would encourage more and more people to ask questions from whatever the questions they have. You see, there are two kinds of questions: the right question and not a right question. The right question is something which really helps them and helps the people around them. That is the right question. And the question, sometimes people ask a question which doesn't help them at all, and that is not a right question. So I encourage all the people to ask right questions. Okay, so we can go ahead with the next one.
Yeah, Revati ji, you can go ahead.
Yeah. Thanks for great session.
Can't hear you, Revati ji.
Thank you very much for this great session. Can you hear me?
Yes, madam, go ahead.
Can we consume sprouts or not?
Any plant-based food is fine. Any plant-based food is fine except garlic.
Thank you.
Any plant-based food on the planet Earth is absolutely with gratitude, and it has positive vibrations. It has good vibrations we can consume, except garlic. Why garlic? Because garlic is created by a dark force, and when you raise your awareness, when you open your third eye, you will clearly see that garlic has been created by a Rakshasa. It's created by Asuras. It's created by the negative force to induce fear in the human. So the fear, the fear element is the key for the human suffering. So as long as there is fear, the human cannot realize his own true potential. So garlic, when you eat garlic, it purifies, not purifies, it calcifies. When you eat garlic, it calcifies your pineal and the pituitary glands. So this pineal and the pituitary glands, the 6th chakra and the 7th chakra, the pineal and the pituitary glands, these are the master glands, and they are very soft and volatile. So these glands control all the other glands in our system. So when this pineal and the pituitary gets calcified, then our connection to the higher self becomes limited. So that means the light, the connection to the light becomes minimized. So when the connection to the light becomes minimized, then there is a lot of fear which radiates within us. Because I said the opposite energy of fear is the trust. So with more and more calcification, the more we lose the trust on God and the universe. So the more the fear factors plays a role. So that's why there should be no garlic. And that's why you see all the major religions, temples, and even Brahmins and yogis and meditators, rishis, they will not eat garlic because they know it is from a dark kingdom. It is a spy. Garlic, even though it is part of a vegetable, but it is a spy. That's how the spy intrudes into the enemy camp, by putting a mask, by pretending. So garlic is a spy. So that's why we don't eat garlic. So other than that, anything is fine. Yes, Revati ji.
We have Manjula. Manjula ji, yes, you can unmute yourself now. Yeah, go ahead.
Very nice question. Thank you very much. I have a question. What is the importance of reacting and responding? And what is the impact of reacting?
Sorry, Manjula ji, we can't hear your voice clearly. There is an echo. There is an echo and a little bit of a disturbance. Can you be a little more louder, please?
Yeah, sure. Am I clear? Am I audible? Am I audible now?
I think still there is a little bit of disturbance, but it's fine. Go ahead. Just try to be short in the question and we'll be able to answer it.
I'd like to know what is the difference between responding and reacting, and what is the importance of reacting? What is the importance of reaction on a karma? The impact of reaction.
Okay. That's a good question. So if the relation is very simple, if there is a karma, then there is high chances that you will react. So in other words, if you are in the karmic loop, very naturally you tend to react. But with more and more awareness, instead of reacting, you become creative. So the difference is only how creative you are or how reactive you are. Majority of the people on the planet Earth, they are reactive. Majority of the people, they are reactive. But the people who are in the spiritual path, the people who are meditating, the people who raise their awareness, and the people who are ready to come out of their suffering, then they start witnessing. So the more they start witnessing, the more they start becoming aware, then they don't react. So they try to see why they have this challenge, and they try to learn the lessons. So when you are able to witness and try to learn the lessons, then you become creative. So for the people who are stuck in the karma, they are reactive. For the people who want to come out of the karma, they become creative. That is the relationship. Okay.
That was nice, Pradeep. So we have a couple of more participants raising their hand. Shall we proceed? I know that we are out of time.
What's the time now?
It's 3:30 here, so 7 p.m. there in India.
Okay, so fine. We'll take a couple of questions.
Yeah. So we have Swati Reddy. Yeah, you can proceed to unmute yourself.
Hello, sir. Since you've just spoken about garlic, I am slowly, trying to get into the spiritual path. It's been 1 year, and I've always heard about garlic and onion. My mother-in-law doesn't eat all these. So I have stopped eating non-vegetarian, but still I consume egg. So, and I really also want to know about the onions. Garlic, yes, I've got the right answer, but I was looking for eggs and onions also. If you could please explain it a bit.
Okay. So eggs, again, is a no, because eggs are meant for its babies, and it is not meant for the human consumption. So every hen lay the egg for its own reproduction, for its own babies. So eggs, no eggs. And when it comes to onions, it is okay to eat onions. In some of the spiritual sects or some of the yogis, they don't eat onions, or even in some of the monasteries or in some ashrams, they don't use onions, because onions raises the hormone levels, right? It raises your sexual passion. So that's why most of the brahmacharis and brahmacharinis, they don't eat onions. So that's why in the monasteries they don't want to eat, because they are not involving in a sexual life, so they don't eat onions. But the truth is, the middle path is the highest truth. So middle path means we all have to be in the family lives. We all have to be in the family lives, but still spiritual. So if you are in the middle path, then you will eat onions, and there is absolutely no reason for not eating onions. So that is the reason some of the spiritual or religious organizations, they don't use onions, not to trigger the sexual passions. But if you're living in a happy family life, then eating onions are absolutely okay. Okay.
So we have last one, Pradeep Doshi. Yeah, you can unmute yourself.
Yeah, I have a question on the types of karma.
I'll get back to you. Yes, go ahead. Yes.
Yeah, I have a question of types of karma. You have mentioned 2 types of karma. One is good karma and second is bad karma. As per the Jain philosophy, they have classified 8 types of karma, which includes the lifespan related, the type of family you will take birth into, and there are 8 types of karma. So how do you, do you believe that those 8 types are the sub-classification of good and bad?
You see, different texts speak different things. It is all sub-classifications. So that will be my next topic about the categories of karma, the categories and then the intensities. Okay, so right now what we have seen is categories, right? Sanchita, Prarabdha, and then Agami, Kiyamani. So then there are intensities also. So different texts portray different, it's a different expression they have given. I haven't seen the Jain things. I don't know what exactly that 8 categories mean, but my general understanding is there are categories and there are classifications, and those categories and classifications are to help us to understand a little more deeper. But broadly speaking, it's very simple. What you speak comes back to you.
So like you have Aish karma in Jain philosophy. Aish karma limits your lifespan. I don't know if you believe that.
Everything is the same. Everything is the same. If you, Ayush means the lifespan. If your karma has, in your past lives, you have killed somebody, so that means you are reducing his Ayush. He is meant to live for 100 years and you killed him, so you reduced his Ayush, so that will come back to you. So everything is the same. That's why I said the broader classification is the same. What you do comes back to you. In what category you put in, it's your choice. But the more simpler it is, the more easy to understand. Truth is very simple. Truth is very, very simple. So the more simpler the truth is, the more it is easy to understand and the more it is easy to integrate it. Maybe after today's and tomorrow's session, you might probably get your answer, right? So still, if you don't get that, maybe towards the end of our workshop, you can ask the question again. So I'm hopeful that you will find your answers in between, because we might deal with certain examples, and that certain examples and certain categories of karmas that we are going to discuss might give you answers.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. So, all right. So I hope, friends, this question answer session is going to really, I'm not keeping a watch on the time. So Ramesh, we still have time, is it?
I mean, it's to you, Pradeep. We have last one participant with the raised hand, and I think then we can wind off. Yeah.
Okay. So, but before we wind off, I want to really also integrate it. I want to integrate this session also with few minutes meditation.
Okay.
Just 5 minutes, 5-10 minutes. Okay, go ahead. So we can take as many questions. So let all the questions come today. So this is what I feel it's good. Let all the questions come today, and we will integrate it for today's session. And tomorrow we will continue on the new aspect. So we'll build on to what we have discussed on today.
Okay. So we have Manikanta. Yeah, you can unmute yourself. Go ahead, please.
Yeah. Hi. Hello. Sir, I just want to ask you one more question regarding as you mentioned about the garlic and onions. Can you just tell me about paneer and mushroom? And also, I just want to know about the Paurnami Dhyanam. What is the use of the Paurnami Dhyanam from you? Thank you.
Okay. So again, paneer is part of a milk product, right? So already I answered it. So if you take milk, there's nothing wrong in it, but make sure the milk or the milk products you are taking doesn't come from suffering. Okay, so that's the first aspect of the paneer. So if you know that paneer you are getting is from a reliable source, then the source where there is no suffering, where there is no torture of the animals, where the animals are treated well with respect and love, so then you can take paneer, no problem. And your next question is mushrooms. See, I personally don't take mushrooms because mushrooms are neither a plant nor an animal. It is in between. It is in between. It is a fungus. So mushrooms don't have chlorophyll. You see, all the plant kingdom, they have chlorophyll, the green element, the chlorophyll, which is essential to produce their food using the sunlight and the cosmic energy. But mushrooms don't have chlorophyll, and they feed on the dead matter. So mushrooms feed on the dead matter. They don't feed on the cosmic energy. So when you eat mushrooms, it is not a bad karma, but it doesn't give you any positive energy. It doesn't give you pranic energy. It doesn't raise your pranic energy level. So I personally don't eat mushrooms. So here you have to understand about mushrooms is, eating mushroom is not a bad karma, because it is neither a plant nor an animal. It is just a fungus. It is in between. But it is a choice you have to make. Because if you eat mushrooms, you are just eating the dead matter. There is no light energy. If you are eating an apple, or if you're eating a mango, if you're eating any vegetable, or if you're eating green leaves, it has cosmic energy in it. It has prana in it. But mushrooms don't have pranic energy. Okay, so that is the mushroom part. And the Paurnami Dhyan, the full moon meditation is powerful meditation. In any given calendar day, the day of the full moon, the day before the full moon, and the day after the full moon is very powerful. You get more cosmic energy during those days. And if you meditate during those times, you receive more and more cosmic energy. So doing a full moon meditation is approximately 3 times more powerful. And also if you meditate on the the eclipse, the day of the eclipse, where there is any shift in the alignment, lunar eclipse, solar eclipse, a new moon day, full moon day, all these days are very powerful. Okay, but full moon, precisely full moon, has more cosmic energy.
Thanks, Pradeep. Very well said. I really like the explanation about the mushrooms. So thank you. And we have Gayatri ji. Yeah, you can unmute yourself.
Hello, sir.
Yes, madam. Yes, Gayatri ji, go ahead.
Gayatri ji, it's not audible. I think there is an issue, Pradeep.
Okay.
This is Gayatri Radhakrishnan from India. I'm residing in this vegetarianism. Questions. One is, in Lobsang I have read about the meat eating in Himalayan mountain. They reside.
That is wrong, madam. That is wrong, madam. So, Loksam Prampada, everything he has said is right, except for that part.
Okay. Okay, then. The second question is, in some religion, the meat eating is the main food, and the European countries, they also consume so much meat. Especially in Eastern countries, we can follow for certain group of people.
Karma is there for everybody, madam. Karma is there whether for a beggar or whether for a king or whether for an Asian or whether for a European or whether for an American or an African. Karma is karma. So it is because of the karma, the whole of the world is suffering. The whole humanity is suffering. See, there is again categories. There is individual karma, there is group karma, there is family karma, there is nation karma, and there is a planet Earth karma. So that we are going to discuss in the next level. So karma is a very huge topic. It's a depth. It's a topic in depth. We have to understand the deeper. So the humanity suffering is because of the collective karma.
Okay.
It is the curse of the animals. It is a suffering the animal kingdom is going through because the humans are giving so much suffering. That's why we are getting back all those pandemics and all those COVID-19s. It's because of our karma. Okay. So we have to take responsibility.
Okay. And one more clarification I needed. In Lobsang Rampa, I'm one of the my favorite author. What he explains is, we are not killing the animals. The animals, dead animals, which is preserved in the ice, we preserve it in our house, and we are using. There is no karma. He explains. Is it?
Yeah. If you eat an animal which is already dead naturally.
Yes.
If you eat an animal which is already dead naturally, then there is no karma. See, the karma is not because you are eating meat. The karma is because you are killing for that meat.
Okay.
So if there is a dead animal who is already dead naturally, then you go and eat. Absolutely no problem. Absolutely no karma.
Okay.
You can eat. But the energy, of course, if you are eating a dead matter, the energy is low energy.
But
the energy is low, but no karma.
Okay, but they say that we are not having the natural vegetation in the Himalayas, so we are eating for our survival. They say.
No,
Okay.
no, madam. That is a limited understanding. No, in Himalayas there are more than 20,000 people on the planet Earth who are living on breath, who are living on prana. So once you are reached to certain level, to such level that you absorb the cosmic energy directly into your being, then you don't need plants.
How come the great? Okay.
It is
How
possible.
come
Let me complete, madam, please.
Okay.
So the Himalayas are known for the yogis, and the yogis, they don't eat. They eat very little and they survive for months and months and months. And there are yogis meditating for hundreds and hundreds of lifetimes. And even in our physical day-to-day society, in the public life, there are so many people. I said there are more than 20,000 people. I can give you any number of examples. There is this lady called Jashmohin from Australia.
Yes.
Jashmohin from Australia. She is a breatharian for more than 40 years.
Yes.
And she is a mother and she is a grandmother and she has gone through everything. She delivers and she has also a child and then grandchildren. Absolutely no eating food, just by prana. And even there is yogi, there is Sun Yogi, who is a famous Sun Yogi. He just takes the food by the sunlight. He just gazes the sun and that is his food. So there will be a day on the planet Earth where the humanity reaches to such a level where we directly absorb the prana, where we vibrate in that frequency. But right now, the humanity is not ready. The human cells, the human evolution is not ready on a mass level. Individually, if you have the free will, you can go through that. But the masses are not ready. And that's why the plants are an intermediary base. What does the plants do? The plants absorb the cosmic energy and they make it as a food, like fruits and vegetables, and then give it to us. So when we are eating the fruits and vegetables, we are consuming the cosmic energy.
Right.
Okay. So the plants are just like an intermediary thing for us to absorb the cosmic energy. But if you do meditation every day, your food requirements reduces. You do meditation every day, naturally your hunger reduces because you are so charged with cosmic energy. And if you do intense meditation, then you directly absorb the energy. And there are some people, even in this group, there are people who have experienced it. In my retreats, I make sure I don't give any food to them. For 15 days, for 10 days, 15 days, 20 days, they don't eat any food, just liquids, just water and lime juice, that's all. And they are very happy because they absorb the cosmic energy directly. Some portion of it they absorb directly, and some they take it with juices. So there is a gradual process. Everything is possible. If the Himalayan yogis can do, why can't we do? If Jashmohin can do, why can't we do? Absolutely, there is possible. First, we need to understand the science of it. And then when you understand the science and practice it, of course, everybody can do it.
And there is, if you don't mind, one more question.
Yes, madam, go ahead.
Such a great master, Lobsang Rampa, why he has not been given a correct answer? Why they follow this?
No judgments, madam. No judgments. Okay. No judgments whatsoever. You see, I'll give you an example.
Okay.
For example, you are in the grade, you are studying in a grade 10, you are a 10th class student, and there are 5 subjects. And if you pass all the 5 subjects, then you graduate. But if you fail in many of the subjects, you don't graduate. Yes or no?
Yes.
For example, you have studied 4 subjects, and all the 4 subjects, you got 100 out of 100. And one subject, you failed. Will you graduate?
I understood, sir.
So again, you have to repeat the same 10th grade again. When you repeat again, what happens? Just because you have completed all the other subjects perfectly, you don't need to read. You just go to the exam and write it without reading. But the exam, what you failed, you have to make an effort and you have to read and you have to pass the test. So all the there are many masters. They consider themselves to be spiritual. Of course, they have some special gifts. They have some special abilities. No doubt about it. but they miss this one subject and they have to take birth again. You see, Ramakrishna Paramahamsa and Vivekananda, they're enlightened people, but they still ate fish. So they have to be born again to complete the cycle. Okay. So I personally know the reincarnation of Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. They have to take one more lifetime. And in this lifetime, he learned meditation. He learned vegetarianism. So he passed the test.
Okay, wonderful answer, sir. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, madam. So is there anything else? Just before I wind up, I want to just quickly share what we are going to discuss tomorrow, so that gives a little bit of a heads up. So I hope you can see my screen. Yeah.
Yes, Pradeep.
Yeah. So then we are going to discuss, we have discussed about the categories of karma, right? So tomorrow we'll go into the intensities and how the prarabdha is going to change. And again, the intensities are again based on the intensities. You have classification like dhrida karmas, dhrida and adhrida karmas, and then adhrida karmas like fixed and unfixed and unfixed. How to deal with those things, and how to understand more of this intensity, how to understand the intensities of the karmas with more examples, more case studies. And then we are going to speak about the incarnation, the law of reincarnation. And then we are going to speak a lot about pre-birth planning and how carefully the pre-birth planning happens before we are born, and what role the spirit guides plays, and what planning sessions, how we take the planning sessions, and how this is closely associated with the law of karma. And we'll understand the bigger picture in tomorrow's session. So this is for tomorrow. And if you don't have any questions, then we can meditate and then we can conclude. Is it already time? Because I don't see the time. Is it 2 hours already?
Yeah.
Okay.
It is 2 hours, 50 minutes.
So oh, it's almost 3 hours, is it? Okay.
Yeah, close to 3 hours. Yeah.
All right. So let us meditate for 5 minutes and let us integrate this understanding. And as I said, the spiritual law should be understood from your heart space, because your heart space is your balance chakra. This is your anahata. We have 3 lower chakras and we have 3 higher chakras. And to be in the middle path means to be in the heart space. So let us meditate and integrate. Today we have discussed extensively about compassion, non-violence, and being kind to all the animals and taking responsibility of our actions. So this is what we discussed today. So let us integrate that in our heart space with a 5 minutes meditation. So gently close your eyes, sitting comfortably, and we will have a gentle music. Let the music help us to go deep into our breath. The integration happens very naturally. All you need to be is to be with the breath. The more you are with the breath, the more the integration happens. Kindly be with your breath, my dear friends. Being in the present moment, totally. Final 1 minute, my dear friends. Final 10 seconds. And gently place your hands on your eyes. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. You may slowly remove the hands whenever you are ready and open your eyes. Okay, friends. So that was a great experience for me to connect with all of you. And thanks to Ramesh. Thank you, Ramesh, for organizing this class. And this whole month, every weekend, we plan to bring in a new topic. And of course, Ramesh also will share his own topics, and we have few other masters sharing. And we'll continue this topic tomorrow, and we'll see more case studies and more examples, and we will understand what we need to do now, what we should do so that we take care of our karma, that we try to neutralize it, and also we create more good karma for our future. So thank you very much.
Thanks a lot.
See you tomorrow. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Pradeep. Thanks a lot.
Yeah.
That was a wonderful session. And I have learned a lot, I'm sure, with many of our participants. It's so very wonderful energies and wonderful wisdom that had been shared. Great questions and very well answered. And I'm sure everyone had got their piece of information that they were waiting for. So friends, thanks everyone who had joined today and adding up your energies into this session. It means a lot. We have participants from across the world who had joined. So that's wonderful to integrate these sense of oneness into this session. And we have many participants asking about having a video of this. Yes, This will be shared on YouTube channel, Beam Meditation. I will post the link again here in the chat. So you will find this session there. It will be telecasted at 6 p.m. Germany time on that channel. And it will be also telecasted in many other pyramid meditation channels that you will find depending on their schedules. So see you all back tomorrow, friends, at 1 p.m. Germany time or European time, or 4:30 p.m. India time, to hear and dive into the second part of the same session. So thanks a lot. And thank you again, Pradeep. Wonderful.
No, pleasure. It's my pleasure, and it's a great joy. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Namaste.
Thank you, friends. Bye.
Namaste.
Bye.